Tasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Shang Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu seminars. Today we are discussing the last wave, the fourth wave in the Eastern Division, in the Purva Vibhaga Chaturtha Lahari. The fourth wave we are discussing, that is Prema Bhakti. So this is one of the last sections, the last few classes you can say on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So I'll just share the screen. A minute, please. Okay. Share the screen. Yes. Rasamrita Sindhu, fourth wave concerning Prema Bhakti. So we know the Granth Vibhag now. I think everyone is fully familiar. At least if you have not studied Southern, Western and Northern, but you should know what is there in these waves. And we should thoroughly study this Eastern side, the four waves. Repeatedly, we should every year keep on studying Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I recommend many devotees can study Prabhupada's book many times, then also study the commentaries of the Acharyas. You can hear other very senior exalted devotees giving seminars on this. And then slowly we should come to this. The whole idea is to come to overview of rasa. Here the real, The real stuff, you can say, will begin. So then there are these 5 primary rasas and the 7 gown rasas, and what is compatible and incompatible mixture. Like Vatsalya goes with Karuna. They are compatible. And Hasya goes on with laughter. Madhumangal makes nice, wonderful jokes for Krishna's pleasure. So like that, there are some which are compatible and some are not compatible. So what are compatible and incompatible are discussed in 8th and 9th chapter. So today we are going to discuss the 4th wave, Prema Bhakti. In our summary study book, this is only 1 chapter, Devotional Service in Pure Love of Godhead, 4th wave. Okay, what are the topics in 4th wave? First is the definition of Prema Bhakti, then the cause of Prema Bhakti, from Vaidhi Bhav arising from Vaidhi Sadhana, from Raganugiya Bhav arising from Raganuga Sadhana, and then from Krishna's mercy, Mahatma Gyan Yukta for Vaidhi Bhaktas, because they have Aishwarya Gyan of Krishna. And for Raganugas, Keval Gyan. Keval or Uttama Bhakti or Akinchana Bhakti or Nirgun Bhakti or Shuddha Bhakti, all these are same terms. Kevala Bhakti. In the Bhagavad Gita, which is the term Krishna uses for this pure devotion? Anyone knows? Can raise their hand. In Bhagavad Gita, middle 6 chapters, what is the term Krishna uses for this? Shuddha Bhakti or Kevala Bhakti or Uttama Bhakti or Nirguna Bhakti? What is the term exactly he uses? Many times in the Gita it comes in the middle 6 chapters. Anyone knows? Can raise their hands. Oh, devotees are still not finished Bhakti Shastri, Bhagavad Gita. That's why we are not ready to answer. Anyone has this idea? Ananya Bhakti, yes. Ananya Cheta Satatam Yoma Smarati Nityasha, 8.14. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate, 9.22. Bhaktya to Ananya Shakya, 11.54 or 55, I think. And 9.13. Mahatmanas tu mam partha Daivim Prakritim Ashrita Bhajanta Ananya Manaso. Then in 12.6 and 7. Ye tu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya madpara ananyeva yona yogena mam dhyayanto pashate. Ananyena yogena. So even Ananya Bhakti, pure devotion, is discussed only in few verses in the Gita. And even in the middle 6 chapters, there is also mixed devotion, where Bhakti is predominant, but there is mixture of karma or jnana or yoga. That's why it is called as Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, like that. So all this, requires a very in-depth study of the Gita. Then we can understand. Stages leading to Prema. What are the stages leading to Prema? This is third topic. So today we will discuss this first definition and causes from Prema. Maybe let's see how much we can take up today. Definition of Prema Bhakti. Samyanmarshita swanta mamata tvatishankita bhava sa eva sandratma uday prema nigadyate. When bhava becomes extremely condensed, bhava sandratma. In the previous bhava definition, we saw that Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Suryansha Samadak. Ruchibir Chitta Marshanya. So the softness of the heart was mentioned. Now in Bhava Prema Bhakti, the softness is still deeper. It is still condensed. Becomes Sandradha. So when the Bhava becomes extremely condensed, it is called Prema by the learned. Sa eva budhe Prema nigadyate. Budhe, the learned, define this as Prema. It softens the heart completely. Samyak marshito swantam. So in the Bhava Bhakti also we saw Ruchibis Chitta Marshanya. Chitta Marshanya means this heart becomes soft. But here it is mentioned what? Samyak Marshita Swanto. Now, I would like some devotees to really break this. What is the meaning of Samyak Marshita Swanta? Anyone would like to try? Can raise their hands. What is the meaning of each of these words? Samyak Marshita Swanta. You can try. There's no harm in trying. Even if you're wrong, it's good learning. Who would like to try? Or I'll have to ask. There are many teachers in our group here. So, who is ready to volunteer first? Let us see. Okay. Yes, Lata Mataji, you would like to try?
Krishna Prabhu, I will try.
Yes.
Mashrantya means softening of art, I think you.
Yes, correct.
Samyak is completely.
Yes, correct. And Swa Anta. Now just break Swa and Anta.
Swa means ourselves.
Correct. Anta is our Antakaran, internal heart.
Anta is not end, Prabhu. End.
No, see, here because of Sandhi, it is not A-N-T-A. Anta, A-N-T-A-H. Antakaran we say, na? Antakaran. So here it is that Antakaran. So the heart, it is the heart. Here the heart means the soul, in fact. So complete or perfect softening of the, heart. The heart is completely purified. Heart here means the soul. The chit is completely purified. So because of complete purification. Excellent. Very good. Very nice. And produces extreme possessiveness of the Lord in the experiencer. Mamata Atishaya Ankita. Atishaya. Extreme possessiveness of the Lord. So these are the symptoms. Now, again, this definition of Prema Bhakti fits within the Paribhasha Sutra. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktiruttama. It is a Paribhasha Sutra, it fits in it. Now there are primary characteristics that is called as Swarup Lakshan, and there are Tatastha Lakshan. So who would like to try what is the Swarup Lakshan here and the Tatastha Lakshans? We did this exercise in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu when we discussed Uttama Bhakti definition. We did it in Bhava Bhakti also, the primary characteristics and the secondary characteristics. So here, what are the primary and the secondary characteristics? Who would like to try? Let me only ask. Yes, Nitya Sevini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, I think Tatastha and Swarupa Lakshan, it leads to Bhava.
No. In this definition, there are primary characteristics, Mukhya Lakshan, and Gaun Lakshan are there. So in which are the Mukhya Lakshan? Like Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam is Mukhya Lakshan, primary.
Yes.
And Anya Abhilashita Shunyam and Jnana Karmadi Anavritam are Tatastha Lakshan.
Yes, Prabhu.
So like that, what are the Mukhya Lakshan and the Gauna Lakshan?
Mukhya Lakshan is the Samyan, that what you call
Marshita Swanto.
Marshita Swanto.
And then
this is the Mukhya Lakshan. And the next one is Bhava Sa Eva Sandrantma. That means completely softens. Heart will completely soften.
Okay, now first I'll tell you.
Yes, bro.
Now, first try to understand what is the main thing which will happen. And because of that main thing happening, there are secondary effects which happen.
Yes, Prabhu.
So which are the secondary effects and which is the main thing?
The first one is bhava will completely, the bhava will completely.
It is there in the definition here. You
Yes,
can just
Prabhu.
read.
When bhava becomes extremely condensed, it is called,
Yes.
that is the first part. And because
Hold
of that,
on. So the bhava becomes sandratma.
yes, Sandratma.
When this becomes, then it is prema.
Yes.
So
Then
then which is the primary characteristic then?
the first one is the primary.
Yes. Okay. Now, because of the
Soft.
heart becoming extreme, because the bhava becoming extremely condensed,
Yes, Prabhu.
what all happens? Secondary effects.
It produces extreme possessiveness of the Lord.
It also does softening of the heart.
The
Na?
softening of the heart completely, and it produces extreme possessiveness of the Lord.
Yeah, because it is mentioned, it softens the
Yes.
hearts completely and produces.
Produces.
So you understood how to understand the Mukti
Yes,
and
Prabhu.
Gam?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, fine. I also learned it now only. All of you. Okay, having explained bhava, the author now explains prema. The main quality, Sarup Lakshan, is its very condensed nature, Sandratma. And we know what are the 2 characteristics of Prema Bhakti among the 6 characteristics of pure devotion. Vaishali Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Krishna Prema Bhakti, that attraction of Krishna.
Krishna Akarshani. No. See, here you have to understand what it means, Sri Krishna Akarshani. It's not that.
Yeah, you can attract Krishna.
Krishna becomes attracted to that devotee.
Yes.
Sri Krishna also becomes attracted to that devotee who possesses prema. Yeah. This is Prema Bhakti. Okay, so that is Sri Krishna Akarshani. And what is the one more quality, characteristic?
Transcendental bliss.
Where it is mentioned here? Sandra Atma. That is what is transcendental bliss also.
Oh,
intense condensed bliss. Sandranand Vishesh Atma. Yes, correct. Yes. The other 2 qualities are secondary characteristics. Tatashta Lakshan. Sarupa Lakshan, Tatastha Lakshan. Primary characteristics, secondary characteristics, or Mukhya Lakshan, Gauna Lakshan. All are same terms, interchangeable. So characteristics of Prema, Sarupa Lakshan is Sandra Atma, condensed state of Bhava. And secondary is Samyak, Marshito, Swanta, and Mamata Ati Shayankita. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur gives a very elaborate commentary, and we will hear this very, very attentively. And if you have questions, you can raise your hand in between also. He's going to go elaborate. Having explained Bhava, the author now explains Prema. In Prema, the heart, Swa Antah. I think now it is clear. What it is not Ante or Anta, Antakaran, as we say. Becomes extremely soft. Samyan Marshita. Marshinita. In comparison to the preliminary condition of Bhava, in which the heart becomes soft. In Bhava also the heart becomes soft, but here it becomes extremely soft. You know why Krishna has to go and steal butter from the elderly gopis' houses? Who would like to answer this? Why Krishna has to go and steal butter from the elderly gopis' houses? What is the reason? Why he was stealing butter from the elderly houses, gopis' house? Okay, that is okay to give pleasure to them, but there is some deeper reason. Anyone would like to try also? I would like to be happy. what he was stealing. He was stealing butter, which was giving pleasure, but he was stealing something else also. Anyone would like to try? Yes. Okay. Yes, Vaishali Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhu, along with the butter, he was stealing the heart of the gopis.
Elderly gopis, because they had, their heart was pure, filled with prema. So he was stealing. The heart is compared to when the heart becomes like soft like butter. And that butter is, very, very snigdha. Snigdha means, I hope you all understand what is snigdha. Snigdha means it is very glossy and shining, very sticky. So that heart, that love which the gopis possess for him, the elderly gopis, he is stealing that also, prema. That is the reason he used to perform these pastimes. Some of this suddenly sprouted, and I remembered this, soft and extremely soft. So when the heart becomes extremely soft, like Navanita Choram, Praje Prasiddham Navanita Choram. Now there is the Chaura Gaganya Ashtakam. I think it is Ashtakam, huh? Chaura Gaganya Ashtakam. The thief is glorified. In this, the verses by, I don't know who has composed this. Maybe I think it is Bilva Mangal Thakur, I don't know, Jaydev Goswami. Vraje Prasiddham Navanita Choram. Shri Radhika Hridaya Choram. He steals so many things. He steals butter. He steals the heart of Srimati Radharani. He steals the pap, which is there in the heart of his sadhakas, so that they can become purified. So like that, he is glorified. So the heart, when it becomes extremely stored, then Krishna steals that. Moreover, Prema is a condensed bliss, the highest state of bliss, compared to the preliminary state of Bhava, which has a preliminary appearance of bliss. Prema also has extreme possessiveness of Krishna. In Bhava also there is bliss, but in Prema there is condensed bliss. This is one thing to be noted. Yeah, Bilva Mangal Thakur sound, correct. I knew that, but just. And in Bhava also there is bliss, but in Prema there is condensed bliss. And in Prema there is an additional quality, that is extreme possessiveness of Krishna. Mamatva, it is called. This type of bhava is called Prema. So it is a bhava, kind of a Prema, a bhava, but it is specifically called as Prema. Now, very interesting argument he goes into. A doubt may arise. If bhava is the cause of Prema, firstly, I would like to ask the devotees whether this fits in the Uttama Bhakti definition, because bhava is the cause of Prema. So how it fits in, which line of the Paribhashya Sutra this statement fits, if bhava is the cause of Prema? Anyone? We had studied sadhana bhakti, by which bhava bhakti is produced. So that's why it fits in the anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadi. But which line? Bhava is the cause of Prema. By bhava bhakti, Prema bhakti arises. So which line of that shloka, Paribhashya Sutra 1.1.11, it fits? Anyone would like to try? Okay, I'll only have to ask. Nitya Sevani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, is it from 111? Anya Bilashita Shunyam?
Yeah, but in that verse there are 4 lines. So which?
Yes, Prabhu.
Which one? There is Anukulelena, Krishnanushilana is there. Then there is Anya Bilashita Shunyam and Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. So 4 things are there. That
yes,
two are Mukhi Lakshan, 2 are Gaun Lakshan.
Gaur Lakshan, yeah.
And if Bhava is the cause of Prema, which one, what is among Mukhi Lakshan or Gaun Lakshan, and which one is the one which fits in the Uttama Bhakti definition here in Prema Bhakti?
I think the last line, Prabhu, Sheelanam Bhakti Uttama.
Where here it is mentioned Sheelanam Bhakti Uttama here in this line. Anya Abhilashita
Shita
Shunyam.
Shunya.
Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Because Bhava, you are in Bhava also you are further enhancing your devotion with the goal to attain Prema.
Yes.
So that's how it is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Sadhana Bhakti you practice to attain Bhava Bhakti. So there also there is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam fitting.
Yeah,
I
that
hope you
means
got
first
it.
stage. First
Yeah.
stage,
That first one.
which
Yeah.
leads to the other one. Bhava is the cause of prema, means anya vilashita shunyam.
Shunyam.
When
Yes.
we develop the okay.
Yes. There is no material desire. Jnana Karmadi Anavritam also in one sense fits. And if it transforms itself into prema, it is called the material cause, Upadan Karan of prema, according to Sankhya philosophy. So according to Sankhya philosophy, one is the cause, other is the effect. So cause and effect like that is there. So bhava is the cause of prema, according to Sankhya philosophy. So in that sense, the material cause, Upadan Karan, is bhava. So then they raise the argument, then bhava must give up its previous state and transform into prema. So bhava transforms into prema. So bhava, previous state, bhava should be given up. Like to give a simple example, all Matajis do cooking, I hope. You have atta, and from atta you mix with water. From a raw state, that is in the form of a powder, it becomes a solid state, right? The dough, what you call. Now, the effect is this dough. The cause of is the atta, powder. So when the effect manifests in the form of dough, the cause is not there. Yes, you cannot see the atta powder. Now, this dough, when you roll and make chapatis, then the chapati comes out. So the effect is chapati, the cause is the dough. So once the chapati is out, effect is manifested, the cause, that is the dough, that is not existing. So that is the logic. Sankhya Darshan. We have the Shab Darshans, if you know. There is a Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga of Patanjali, and then there is the Karma Mimamsa and the Vedanta philosophy of Vyasa. So bhava, the previous state, is transformed into bhava must give up its previous state. That is the logic he's explaining. The effect cannot exist independently of the cause. The effect also cannot exist independently of the cause, he says. Now he gives an example to understand this. It is similar to raw liquid sugar, which gives up its first state and becomes solid raw sugar. So the liquid state is given up and it becomes solid. Once it is solid, the liquid state is not there. When the solid raw sugar appears, the raw liquid sugar no longer has a separate existence. It no longer exists. Everyone has this experience, right? The solid raw sugar then becomes white sugar and then refined sugar. When the refined sugar exists, the liquid raw sugar, solid raw sugar, and white sugar no longer exist. Yes. In this case also, bhava becomes prema, thus bhava should no longer exist. So this is the argument of Sankhya Darshan. When prema becomes sneha, these are higher stages of prema I mentioned, and sneha becomes raga, then prema and sneha should both disappear and only raga should remain. So similarly, it's the same logic of sugar is applying here to these different states and higher states in prema. There are higher levels in prema. We have seen that prema, sneha, raga, anuraga, and then mana, and then mahabhava. Sometimes bhava is also included. That bhava is different from the 8th stage of bhava bhakti. That is bhava and then mahabhava. So if you go to that higher state, say sneha, then prema should not exist, should disappear. That's what their argument. Moreover, if the highest state of Mahabhava appears in Radha and others, then all the previous states should disappear. So Prema should disappear, Bhava should disappear, Sneha should disappear, Mana should disappear, all that. This is not true. Bhava becomes Prema without giving up its previous state. You just can't apply material logic to spiritual truths. Just because you see in material phenomena this is happening, spiritual truths are transcendental. So why it doesn't give up its previous state? Because of the Achintya Shakti present in Rati, Prema, Sneha, Raga, Mana, Pranaya, Anuraga and Mahabhav, which are the supreme transformations of the Hladini Shakti. So they don't give up the previous state because of the Achintya Shakti and because of the transformations of the Hladini Shakti of the Lord. Does Bhava exist separately from Prema? And Sneha and other stages exist separately from Prema. Now here is a footnote. Though Bhava matures into Prema, it should also be eternal and should thus remain even after Prema appears. So just because somebody has attained Prema or higher stages, it is not that he doesn't possess Bhava. It is there now. Bhava is also there. A devotee can have experiences of lesser intensity in Bhava or more intensity in Prema, Sneha, Raga, etc. Bhava takes one of the 5 principal forms as Stahi Bhav, Shanta Rati, Dasyarati, Sakyarati, Vatsalarati, Madhurati. This remains with the devotee permanently, with the exception of Shantarati, which may transform into higher ratis. Shantarati is usually not considered because in Gokul, these 4 rasas is what Mahaprabhu has come to give. Of course, the impurities present in Bhava immediately following sadhana in the form of anarthas would not be present when it is experienced at a later stage. So there are some impurities in the Bhava after performing sadhana, in the form of some aparadhas, especially Vaishnava aparadhas. And they will not be present in Prema. Prema, there is no aparadh left. Completely the heart is purified. What to speak of again higher stages. An example is given. Now, how to understand this spiritual concept? This was a material Sankhya concept, which seems very logical and very correct. But it remains because of the Achintya Shakti of the Lord, and the explanation is given. Now, Vishnu Chakravarti gives a practical example to understand this. An example is given. The Balya body of Krishna attains a little more sweetness and attains the Pauganda state, but without giving up the Balya state. Very interesting, yes? Krishna grows from Balya to Pauganda. And in the Balya, the Vatsalya mood is very high. That's why the Balya pastimes or Vatsalya pastimes are prominent. The Pauganda, the Sakya pastimes are more prominent. And in the Kaishwar age, the Madhurya. So, but although Krishna goes through these different ages, but he doesn't give up the previous Pauganda or Balya. The Pauganda body then attains more excellence and becomes the Kaishwara body without giving up the previous condition. It doesn't give up the previous condition. It is unlike the material body, which on attaining boyhood gives up its baby body. This is because all the pastimes of Krishna during all his ages with all his bodies are eternal. So we have experience when we give up the childhood body, we attain a youth body. So no more the childhood body is there. The cause disappears, the effect remains. And from boyhood, we go to old age. Then the youth body is no more existing because it is material. But Krishna's pastimes are going on eternal. And all these bodies, Krishna's bodies are eternal. When Krishna enters his Pauganda body, the Balya body disappears and then appears in a universe in which his Balya pastimes are about to begin. So this Krishna's pastimes, there are unlimited universes. Krishna is taking birth, suppose here in this Brahmanda on earth. He takes birth and he is taken by Vasudeva and his pastimes in Gokula are beginning. So his birth pastime is happening in some other universe. Now Krishna here, attains Pauganda. So the Balya pastimes are happening in those universes. And in the next universe, Krishna is taking birth. Continuously it is happening, these things. The Balya body appears wherever the Balya pastime begins, in the Vrindavan within a particular universe. The Balya body of Krishna will also appear in future Kalpa of Brahma during the Vaivasvata Manvantar. Vrindavan appear on earth again. So he is speaking about this pastime of Krishna appearing just 500 years back. Similar to this, the sun disappears from this continent in the evening and appears in another continent. But after 12 hours, it again appears in this continent. So this is the analogy given for us. This is the right analogy for us to understand. The eternal nature of the pastimes and the ages of Krishna are explained in detail in the commentaries of the Bhagavatam by the devotees. One should consult these works if one has questions. So regarding questions, if you have, consult the Bhagavatam, especially Prabhupada's commentary on the Bhagavatam. And then once you are thorough with these 12 cantos, reading regularly the Bhagavatam, then we can also study the Acharya's commentaries to go deeper into the pastimes of Krishna. Getting back to the present case, okay, now before I speak, he has now defeated the logic of the Sankhyates. The Sankhya logic, which was presented here, the Sankhya philosophy, he has defeated. So I would like to give a practical one more example, which is there in Krishna Leela. When Krishna left Vrindavan after many years, the Vrajvasis and Krishna united in Kurukshetra. We all know about it. In Kurukshetra, Krishna had come for the Grahan, and the Vrajvasis also came. So when Mother Yashoda saw Krishna, although Krishna was like a king, royal opulence, having a lot of Aishwarya, but still Mother Yashoda was seeing Krishna as baby child, and milk was flowing out from her breast. And Krishna, to reciprocate with Mother Yashoda, immediately transformed into a child and immediately reciprocated with Mother Yashoda. This is their description. So Krishna, being even as a Kaishwarya, youth, he can manifest his childhood form because these are eternal forms of the Lord. And we cannot do that. Once we are youth, we cannot get back our childhood form. That's why sometimes many people who did not really get a lot of good motherly affection in childhood, even when they grow as youths, because that reciprocation, that affection, Vatsalya praying between the mother and child was not there, they feel a kind of vacuum in their heart and they want to still experience it. But now they cannot manifest a child's body. So they feel that vacuum in the heart. So that's why it is very important that children should be given a lot of motherly affection, so that in fact it nourishes them, it nourishes the children, and they physically, psychologically also they grow. Otherwise, the youths will have psychological problems. 90% of the youth problems today having psychological problems is because of the lack of love the parents are not giving, especially in today's work culture. Because parents, both husband and wife, are busy, trying, the situation is like that, what to do. They are busy in trying to, take care of the family, and that's why they both are working. So children get psychological problems and they go into drugs, they go into so many bad habits. And this is one of the major reasons. So we should be, conscious about it and what to tell, because of this internet and mobile, mothers, are completely, the deepest love in the material world, Prabhupada said, Prema closely, it resembles in the mother selflessness, selfless love between the mother and the child. And the highest love in reciprocation is of the mother, feeding the child breast milk. And today, mothers sometimes are, the full attention of the mother should be on the child. Sometimes they are sitting on the mobile and, unconsciously doing this activity. And it all has psychological effect on the consciousness of the child, in fact. So these are very important things which, because of this technology, we are creating a population which is, completely, they're mad, they go mad, in fact. So these are some things which suddenly, I discussed, because Krishna, in order to reciprocate with Mother Yashoda, he took up a child's form, and Mother Yashoda fed Krishna and she was fully satisfied. So Krishna can do that. So this we discussed. I hope this was clear. Now coming back to the, okay, sorry. Coming back to now, he says, getting back to the present case, among those who have bhava, prema and stahi bhavs, when a particular stahi bhav appears in a devotee under particular conditions or causes, one should understand that the other bhavas are still present in the devotee, but in unmanifest forms. They are not destroyed. So the bhavas, the previous states are not destroyed. They are there. Similarly, among material persons who have anger, lust, and other emotions. Now, this is an example to understand what previously, this point, what he meant. This point to explain, he gives an example. Similarly, among material persons who have anger, lust, and other emotions, when one emotion among them surfaces, the others still exist, but in the form of impressions. So just like, there is anger. So anger becomes prominent, but at the background, there is also lust. There is lust and the other emotions, but they are in the form of impressions. They are not manifested. Though bhava matures into prema, it should also be eternal and thus remain even after prema appears. Bhava only matures to prema and it is eternal. Nitya siddhasya bhava prakattam riddhi sadhyata, it was mentioned. Nitya siddha Krishna prem kabu sadhyana hai shravanadi shuddha chitta koroday. A devotee can have experiences of lesser intensity in bhava or more intensity in prema, sneha, raga, etc. Bhava takes one of five principal forms as stahi bhav, shantrati, dasya, sakya, vatsalya, and madhurya. This even Jiva Goswami said. This remains with the devotee permanently. So the stahi bhava remains. Sakya, one who is in having sakya bhav, that stahi bhav is always there. One who has madhurya, that stahi bhav will be there. With the exception of shantarati, which may transform into higher ratis. The shantarati is the lowest. There is only awe and reverence to the Lord. Oh, the Lord is the controller of this universe. Sarvasya Dataram. 8.9 in the Bhagavad Gita. Anyor Aninyam. He is the controller. He is Anushasana. So there is no exchange. Shant, it is Shantarati. Adoration of the Lord. That's it. So exchange means service, and service begins with dasarati. And when there is intimacy, there is sakya. More intimacy, there is vatsalya. Still more intimacy in the reciprocation, loving, then it is madhurya. So that's how it is. Of course, the impurities present in bhava immediately following sadhana in the form of others would be present when it is experienced at a later stage. So there are impurities, we studied that. Okay, any questions regarding this? We have finished the definition of Prema Bhakti. Any questions or any clarifications anyone has? Oh. Yes, Vaishali Mataji.
Prabhu, can you just show that slide? There that Sthayi Bhava does not change, you're saying, right?
Yes.
Except for Shantarasa.
No, not that except for Shantrata. From Shantratri, you can go to further Das, Sakya, Vatsalya.
No, but someone in the Vatsalya Rati will not go to Madhurya Rati.
No. Somebody has developed his Sthayi Bhava as Vatsalya Rati, then it will not be Madhurya. That's why
But
the Vatsalya.
Prabhu, somewhere in the somewhere I think it was said, right, that even if someone is in a Vaikuntha, he can, if he can, I think in one of the Prabhupada purports only, he can be transferred to Goloka Vrindavan.
Yes, that is there, but it is very, very rare. Some devotee has to, some Premi Bhakta, if he wants to show compassion and, with the preaching, it can happen, but it is not so easy. Even in Vaikuntha, the associates of Krishna, and the associates of the associates of Narayan, those who are in Dasibhav, they are also having an understanding that actually this Krishna is a manifestation of Narayan. So they have an understanding that Narayan is supreme. And so that's why this knowledge is given to them, because they have that rati, they have Dasya Rati towards Narayan. So it doesn't allow them to, access these highest truths. So there also, the Vaikuntha Vasis have an understanding that Krishna performs these beautiful pastimes on planet Earth. He is a manifestation of Narayan. So even the Sri Vaishnavas, many times I have come across Sri Vaishnavas, when I visit those temples, they come and tell me, actually Narayan is supreme, they tell. So if they are saying we should not, try to, have argument with them and try to establish Krishna as supreme,
So Prabhu, this Sthayi Bhava,
because this conception is there even in Vaikuntha, what to speak here on the earth. Okay, what is the question?
No, Prabhu, the Sthayi Bhava, once the Sthayi Bhava is identified or revealed, then it cannot change.
The manifestation of the Sthayi Bhav happens with the beginning of Raganuga Sadhana. In the Raganuga Sadhana, Srila Prabhupada gives hint in many places in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that, one's constitution, in which mood he wants to serve Krishna, slowly gets revealed, he says. So by hearing Krishna's pastimes, especially from very exalted sannyasis and reading Krishna book, one's constitution means at the soul level, there is a natural affinity for a particular mood, either in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya or Madhurya. And this, with the purification of the heart, where Lobha manifests, greed, and purification of the heart has happened to quite a certain degree, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, that degree, then slowly you develop that mood and you develop attraction to those residents of Vrindavan who are in that mood. If you have constitution in Dasya, then you will follow Raktak and Patrak. If you have Sakya, Sridhama, Sudhama. If it is Vatsalya, Mother Yashoda and Nanda. If it is Madhurya, then the Gopis. And you would have in Ragana Sadhana, you would be internally in your Siddha Deha, Sadhaka Deha and Siddha Deha. You remember that, right? So in Sadhaka Deha, you are practicing and following the 6 Goswamis and our Acharyas. And in the Siddha Deha, you are going in deep contemplation and trying to serve and follow the eternal associates that mood. So that mood cultivation has happened in Raghunav Sadhana for many years. And then the slowly development of the internal spiritual body is happening. And at Bhava, that spiritual body is revealed. So it's not just suddenly overnight it will happen. So you have been cultivating that mood. Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam is there, right? So you have been contemplating on that and you'll attain that body. So similarly, this Smaran, you have been practicing this bhajan for many, many years. Have you intensified your bhajan and cultivation, internal meditation? So then you have developed that mood. So it is according to what attraction and affinity you have developed accordingly. Accordingly, you have cultivated it.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, like if someone is in Vatsalya Rati, that Sakya Rati will also be there, like for example,
Yes,
Mother.
yes, it will be there. See, in Shantrati, there is only one rasa, just adoration. In Dasya, there is Dasya as well as Shanta. In Sakya, there is Sakya. Krishna's friends are very intimate to Krishna. They play with Krishna, they jump with Krishna, they climb on Krishna. They also serve Krishna when they fan Krishna, when Krishna is taking rest. So Dasya is there. And Shanta is also there. And in Vatsalya, there is, Sakya, there is Dasya and Shanta. In Madhurya, there is Vatsalya, Sakya, Dasya, Shanta. All are there. And I gave the example, if you remember, earth. In earth, there is smell, there is taste, there is, form, there is sound. All these are there. But in sound, in ether, there is only sound. In the next element, there is air. Air, there is sound and touch. Both are there. In fire, there is sound, touch, and form. And in water, there is taste also. So sound, touch, form, and taste. And in ether, in earth, there is smell. But in water, there is no smell, or in fire, there is no smell. So like that, all these, forms exist. In Madhurya, all the five exist. Just like in earth, all the other consecutively exist. Is it clear, Mataji? Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. So can we go ahead then? We have only now one small topic. Nothing much now. Now this is the scriptural proof for Prema Bhakti definition what Rupa Goswami has given. Scriptural proof. Yatha Pancharatre. In the Pancharatra. Ananya Mamata Vishnu Mamata Prema Sangata Bhaktir Iti Uchate Bhishma Praladoddhavanarade. Prema is defined. Prema iti uchate. It is said or it is defined by Bhishma, Pralad, and Uddhava and Narad. Bhishma, Pralad, Uddhava, Narade. As that bhava, bhakti. Bhakti iti uchate. Now here, bhakti here means bhava, which has possessiveness related to Vishnu or any other form of Lord. Vishnu, Sangata, Mamta. Now here, if you see in the bracket, it is any other form of the Lord, because this is a generic sense, this definition is given, because even in Vaikuntha there is Prema for Vishnu or Narayan. But for specifically Gaudiya Vaisnavas, it refers to the Shyam Sundar Krishna. Vishnu Sangate Mamata, and to no one else, Ananya Mamata. So Ananya Bhakti means what? We have only attraction for Krishna and no other attraction for anything in this world. Very, very exalted state it is. No attraction to family, this, that, this, whatever it is. So very, very exalted state of practice of Ananya Bhakti. It should be understood that starting from verse 6, Evam Vrate, the author will give examples to support his own definition. He's going to give you examples now, beginning from verse number 6 onwards. But here first he's giving a scriptural proof. Here he quotes a different definition of Prema in order to show its agreement with his definition by consideration of the grammar. Bhakti means bhava in the verse. Okay, so that's it. There is no more detailed commentary. But here are some additional points. Mamata, possessiveness. Prema means to have a sense of highly possessive ownership of Krishna. Krishna is mine. Ordinary devotional service has the mood of Tadiya. I am Krishna's. Whereas Prema Bhakti has the mood of Mamatva. Krishna is mine. So among the two, which is higher? Who would like to answer? Which is higher? Tadiya or Mamatva? Krishna, I am yours. If you say, Tava asmiti yachet, like we have discussed this, and Krishna, you are mine, you belong to me. Which is higher? Surya Konda Prabhuji, long time. Which is higher?
Prabhuji, Tadiya.
You're just putting what is it called? MCQ, you are trying to tick someone. Okay. Yes, anyone would like to answer? Yes, Sunita Mataji. There is no audio from your side.
Krishna is mine. Krishna is mine.
Krishna is mine is higher. Now, okay, many have typed Mamatva. Yes, I think everyone has understood. Now, why Krishna is mine is superior? Why it is superior? Yes, Sunita Mataji. Because you have answered, you have to answer now again.
One doesn't like the idea of parting from Krishna.
Yeah, this is again a vast topic, but we will not discuss here. But basically, yeah. Please don't type, because it becomes difficult to understand what exactly you can speak. Lata Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, when we consider Krishna as mine, we try to serve him than expecting the Lord to serve us, means like asking for the offering, means
Yes.
benedictions and others.
Yeah, that is at one level, it's very true. So, Aham and Mama is there. We know this, Aham Mama. False ego has this manifestation of Aham and Mama. And I am this body and everything possessed this body or this bodily expansion, these are all mine. So in order to realize Aham Brahmasmi, then you have to give up Mama. You have to give up this mamata for what we have, for all these things, possessiveness. That's why one of the characteristics of Ashtanga Yoga or any yoga is you have to be free from possessiveness. So this, in spiritual circles is well known. So in one sense, Aham is superior to Mama. But in Rasa point of view, Mama is superior to Aham. I am yours, Krishna saying, and Krishna is mine. Krishna is mine is superior. So in Bhava, one understands one's eternal relationship with the Lord. In Prema Bhakti, however, one actually enters the Lord's eternal pastimes in one's eternal spiritual identity in the mood that Krishna is my son. I possess Krishna. Krishna is my friend. Krishna is my lover. Okay. Now, in this next verse, Rupa Goswami analyzes the verse, what he has quoted in this verse, second, the scriptural quotation. He analyzes it. Bhakti premuchyate bhishma mukhyeriyatra tu sangata mamattanya mamatvena arjitetyatra yojana. The analysis of grammar of the above verse is as follows. Iti atra yojana. Bhava is called prema. Bhakti Prema Uchate by Bhishma and others. Bhishma Mukher, where there is possessiveness related to Vishnu. Yatra tu Sangata Mamata, and where possessiveness of other things are absent. Anya Mamatvena Varjita. There's only possessiveness towards Krishna. Mat Chitta Mat Gata Prana. Krishna is there in their heart. And Krishna is their prana. If they don't discuss Krishna Katha, they'll have to leave this world. Just like if you don't have Anna, then you cannot sustain this body, then you'll have to leave this body. So Krishna is their prana and like that, and nothing else. Everything else is absent. This verse analyzes the verse from the Pancharatra. Bhakti means bhava. It should be devoid of strong possessiveness of body, house, and other items. That possessiveness which is related to Vishnu is called Prema by Bhishma and others. Cause of Prema Bhakti. So this is now the next topic we are going to go now. Okay, I think I can go up till another few verses. We have another 15 minutes. So we will finish at least today 30 slides, then tomorrow 30 slides. Not tomorrow, next week 30 slides. So 2 classes we will finish. Okay, I hope this topic was clear. If you have questions, you can always ask. Reason, cause of Prema Bhakti. Bhavatyoti prasadutha Shri Harir iti sadvida. The cause of Prema to the Lord has 2 types. Shri Harir sa dvida. Dvida means 2 types. That arising from Bhava. Bhava Utta. Bhavattha it is called. Bhavutta. Utta means born out of Bhava or arising from Bhava. And that arising from mercy. Ati prasad utta iti. Okay, so Bhavutta and Prasadutta. Now I have put everything here in the chart. 2 ways to achieve Prema from Bhava. Then Ati Prasadutta, from the Lord's extraordinary mercy. Now in this Bhava Utta, there is Vaidhi Bhavutta from Vaidhi Sadhana and from Raganuga Sadhana. So Rupa Goswami will give one scripture for this and one for Raganuga. And then Ati Prasadena by giving his association to devotee. Then the gopis and Bali Maharaj is given. And within this, there is 2 categories. Direct Krishna's mercy. He gives knowledge endowed with Lord's powers. This is Aishwarya Gyan, it is called. Mahatma Gyan Yukta. And endowed with only knowledge of Lord's sweetness, Kevala. So, if we are getting from the extraordinary mercy of Krishna, which is the one which is conducive for attaining Vraj Krishna? Among this, in the chart, I'm asking about this in this category from the Lord's extraordinary mercy. Which is conducive to enter into Golok. Yes. Okay, 1 second. Again, devotees are typing. Yes, Mataji, what's your answer?
Kevala Prabhu.
Kevala. Why not Mahatma Gyan Yukta?
Because here it is like with we know the opulence of the Lord. So we can enter into Vaikuntha. It is with awe and reverence.
Yes.
We know that the supreme and
yeah. And now my next question is, you can achieve Prema from Bhava state. And Bhava can manifest from Vaidhi Sadhana or Raganuga Sadhana. So now my question is, okay, we'll go through the discussion and then come back. Otherwise, okay, let us see Tatra Bhavutta. So first let us see this from Bhavutta. Now what he says, let's see. Bhavevantar anganam anusevaya arudha parama utkarshan bhava utta parikirtita. He's now defining Prema arising from Bhava is defined and explained. That Bhava eva, which reaches the highest excellence, arudha parama utkarsham. by continual service using all essential angas. Antarangana anusevaya is called prema arising from bhava. Bhava uttha parikirtita. Uttha means arising. There's only one line commentary. The angas were defined in relation to sadhana bhakti, but the same activities continue in bhava and prema, though they are called anubhavas after sadhana is finished. And I hope devotees understand this from our bhava bhakti discussion. Because in cheshta rupa anushilanam, there is engagement of body, minds, and words without bhava, without emotions. But in bhava rupa anushilanam, there is engagement of body, minds, and words, but there is with emotion, with bhava. So the bhavas, the actions which are done, they are anubhavas actually. They are done out of love, so that's why these are anubhavas. Tatra Vaidi Bhavutta Yatha Ekadashe. So now Vaidi Bhavutta, he is giving a scriptural proof. Evam Vrata Swapriya Nama Kirtya Jatanuroga Jatanurago Dhruta Chitta Uchchay Asantya Athorodita Rauti Gayantya Unmadavan Rityati Lokabhaya, having performed his vows according to Vaidi Bhakti. Evam Vrate. So the Vrata means the rules and regulations. So that directly refers to Vaidi Bhakti. Chanting the holy name of his beloved Lord, Swapriya Nama Kirtya, he develops a great attachment. Jata Nuraga. As his heart melts with ecstatic love, Dhruta Chitta, he laughs very loudly. Uchcha Hasati, cries and shouts. Rodati, Rauti. Sometimes he sings and dances like a madman. Gayanti Nrityati Unmadavat, for he is indifferent to public opinion. Lokabhaya. So what is the aim of devotees ultimately? To become mad. We have to become mad. In Prabhupada used to say that everyone is mad after sense gratification in this material world. So we have to become mad for Krishna. That's the only difference. We are already mad. There's no doubt about it. We have to only transfer that madness for sense gratification to Krishna. Vaidya means produced from Vaidi. By following the rules of Vaidi sadhana bhakti, Vaidi bhav appears. Now this is very clearly should be understood by devotees. You practice Vaidi sadhana bhakti, you will develop Vaidi bhav and then Vaidi prema. If you don't go from Vaidi sadhana bhakti to Raganuga, then Raganuga bhav and then Golok prema you will not attain. So this is just Vaidi, and by which we can attain Vaikunta, Dwarka or Mathura. From that Vaidi bhav appears a corresponding prema. So Vaidi's sadhana bhakti, Vaidi bhav, Vaidi prema. So that prema has regulations. So that's why Krishna is not so much pleased. In Vaikunta there is prema, but there is regulation. In front of Narayan, oh, he is Narayan, he is the Supreme Lord, I am his servant. I have to follow the rules. So if you have ever read the Brahad Bhagavatam, there is the journey of Gop Kumar, how Gop Kumar was situated in Govardhan. He chants, he gets the spiritual master's mercy and chants the Gopal mantra, and slowly he starts going to the higher realms, from Swarga Lok to then Brahma's Lok, and then he goes to the Mahakal Lok, that is the Brahma Jyoti, and then from there he goes to Vaikunta. And when he goes to Vaikunta, he sees Narayan, he just starts running towards Narayan, Narayan, And suddenly all the associates of Narayan, Garuda, there is Sanda and Sunanda, all these others, what is this? What is he doing? And he just in front of Narayan, he collapses in ecstasy. This is Gokumar. And then Lord Narayan understands his mood, that he is a Braj Premi Bhakta. So he nicely massages him, he comes back. And then He's there with the associates having darshan of Narayan, and all the associates are glorifying Narayan with stutis. And then Lakshmi comes. When Lakshmi comes, all the associates slowly start moving because they understand now Lakshmi has come, she wants to feed Narayan, so we should leave the place. But Gop Kumar doesn't leave the place. They're telling, come. No, we'll go. No, why? Why we should go? So like that, Gop Kumar gets the service of fanning the Lord. And then he starts playing the flute and starts describing the pastimes of Krishna to Narayan. And the Vaikuntvasis see, what is he doing? Playing flute and intimately talking to Narayan. So what they do is, they slowly call Gokumar aside. They tell him, you cannot do all this. He's our master. You should offer just the standard prayers. You cannot do all this play flute and all, and discuss like this with Narayan. So like that, there is Vaidi praying in Vaikunta. So just an idea and hint I gave. Vaidi sadhana, Vaidi bhav and Vaidi prem. From that Vaidi bhav appears a Vaidi prem. That is the meaning of Vaida bhavutta. Evam vrata, performing vows, indicates that the prema aroused from Vaidi bhav. So vrata, from vrata. The word priya, dear, indicates the attainment of bhav. Swa indicates the devotee's possession of the possessiveness of the Lord. So they also have that possession, but it is not so deep as in Gokul. Nobody considers, Narayan is my, always that Prabhu and Das mood is there now in reverence. Jata Anuraga indicates extreme possessiveness. This is found extremely in Braj. Vishnu Chakra Thakur. Vrata means a person performing vows of sadhana according to the method discussed in the second wave and indicates Vaidi sadhana, since vratas are related to rules and regulations in Vaidi Bhakti. The word Priya Nama Kirtya indicates that bhava has appeared from chanting Krishna's names, because the word Priya in this verse indicates that the Lord has become very dear to the chanter. The word Swa, one's own, indicates a feeling of possessiveness of the Lord. The Lord has become one's object of affection. Jata Anuraga indicates intense possessiveness, which is a symptom of prema. Rauti means to make sounds loudly other than crying, which are already been described in the word roditi. Roditi means to cry. Lokabhaya means he is beyond ordinary humans or extraordinary. Okay. Now, proof for prema arising from Raganuga Bhava Bhakti. Vaidi Bhava Bhakti proof was discussed, now from Raganuga. So again, I'll show you the chart. From Vaidi, we discussed the Srimad Bhagavatam verse. From Raganuga, the example is of Chandrakanti. So let us see this. In this Manvantar period, Asmin Manvantare, the beautiful faced Chandrakantir Varanana, observed continuous celibacy, brahmacharyam sthita sada, and continuously meditated only on the form of Krishna. See here, very clear it is form of Krishna. Tam eva murtim dhyayanti, thinking one should not desire anyone else as a husband. Na kanchit patim kamayait. She sang songs about him, Sri Krishna Gatam Gayanti, with hair standing on end. Romanch Udbeda Lakshana. She developed complete affection for Krishna. Snigdha, by hearing stories about Krishna. Sri Krishna Priya Vartaya. Varta means, news. Varta Patrika. Sometimes newspapers are called as Varta Patrika. But we should hear only Varta of the spiritual news coming from all our literatures. So this is how from Raganuga she developed Raganuga Bhav, and then Golok Prem. So let us see this commentary of Jiva Goswami. It is understood that because she meditated only on the deity of Krishna, she had already achieved bhava for that deity. She did not desire anyone else as her husband. Na kamayet should not mean na kamayeta. Should be, sorry, na kamayet means should be na kamayete. Eta. Atmanepada means that one should desire husband only, any husband. One should not desire any husband for oneself. So that is the meaning. Here it is the Sanskrit part. It is technical. We leave it. It is in Atmanepada it is mentioned. But for oneself, I should not desire a husband. One should not desire any husband for oneself. This indicates a feeling of deep possessiveness of Krishna. Thus, Prema is indicated as per the definition of Prema given in verse 1. So this is Golok Prem. So here we can see, especially for somebody who's a female, to not marry, to have a husband is very difficult in this material world. It's very, very difficult. So rare souls, those Matajis who can, just accept Krishna as their husband and worship Krishna because of deep position. It's very, very rare in this world, in this universe. Otherwise, girl is supposed to get married and have a husband. Of course, it's not compulsory for boys. If they want to lead a brahmachari life, they can. But for girls, it is compulsory, and it is very, very rare that they can accept Krishna as husband. I know some Mataji here in Parsana who accepted Krishna as her husband, and she worshipped and never got married. There is one case in the Sri Sampradaya, and that is a very famous story. Anyone knows? It is related to Ramanacharya. Anyone knows about it? Yes, Sunita Mataji. Yes. Yes.
I'll try, Prabhuji. I think Andal.
Andal worship. Andal among the 12 gopis worshipped in Krishna of Braj, and she attained Gopi Bhav. She had Gopi Bhav. It's a very special case in the Sri Vaishnavism. It's a very special case. During Ramanacharya time, there was a king, and the king's daughter. In fact, Ramanacharya, when he was in Melukote, he Chalu Narayan Swami, deity worship he began, and the deity told, "Oh, where are my Utsav Murtis?" And the Utsav Murtis are now in the Muslim king. He has kept in his treasury. Go and get it for me. So Ramanacharya traveled all the way from Melukote, which is in south of Bangalore, around 120 kilometers, all the way till Delhi. And the Muslim king, when he had devastated temples, he had taken possession of all the valuables and he had kept. There was one deity called as Rampriya. This deity was worshipped by Lord Ram himself. It was coming in the Guru Shish Parampara like that. So it is said that seeing Ramanacharya stage, this king was, he could not say no. I have come to take this deity. He said, whichever deity, you only find out. In fact, this deity, the Muslim king's daughter, who was also a Muslim, she was so much attached to the deities that she used to sleep with the deity. She used to, always be with the deity, and she had developed deep affection for the deity. And Ramanacharya, it is said that when he went in the king's treasure, wherever he keeps, there were so many deities. And he called out very affectionately. And in fact, it is said that the deities jumped and came in the lap of Ramanacharya. And Ramanacharya held on to the deity. The king was astounded, and he just left immediately with the deity. And when the daughter came to know, she also left the palace and followed Ramanacharya. In fact, she followed all the way Ramanacharya and came to Melukote. And there, because she was a Muslim, she was not allowed to, enter the temple. I don't know exactly the details. I don't remember. It's many years back. I heard this whole story. So, baby Lichima, she is called. She was, and she had ultimately attained the Lord. And there is a lake also devoted to her name only. In Melukote, if you go to Tondanur, where Ramacharya sat and read the Gita Bhashyam, there is a Narasimha deity, there is a Parthsati deity, and there is the Janardhan deity there. It's a very powerful place because that's where Ramacharya stayed for 12 years. And there is a lake there devoted, and it is devoted in her name. And many Muslims come there to take bath. Because they are attracted to somehow because she was also Muslim. So they, by taking bath also, they're getting purified. So this is one example of having possessiveness. But ultimately it is Vaidhi Sadhana, Vaidhi Bhav, and Vaidhi Prem. But those who take up Vaidhi Sadhana and practice Raganuga, then they let in, Bhava and then Krishna Prem in Golok. The word Bahuva should be added to Snigdha. The meaning becomes she developed complete affection. Okay. Ati Prasadutta. Proof of Prema appearing from the great mercy of the Lord. Atha Harera Ati Prasadutta. Harerati Prasadoyam Sangadanadir Atmana. The great mercy of the Lord, Harer Ati Prasada, includes such things as the Lord giving his association to the devotee. Ayam Sangha Danadir Atman. The Lord giving his personal association to the devotee is called Ati Prasad or extreme mercy, because that is the result of the Lord's mercy. So one line commentary is there. Now, how by Lord's mercy, there is a proof. Proof of Prema appearing by the great mercy of the Lord. Yatha Ekadashe. Tenadita Shrutigana Nopasita Mahattama Avratapta Tapasa Matsangan Mam Upagata. The persons I have mentioned, they, that means this is 11:12:7. So in 11:12:6 it is mentioned who are these they. Yeah, I have the database. Yeah. So 11:12:6 is here mentioned. All these. No, sorry. 1 minute. Yeah. Previous verse. The Daitas, Rakshasas, birds, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Vritsrasur, Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Banasur, Hanuman, Jambavan, Gajendra, all these Kubja, and at last the gopis of Vrindavan and the wives of Brahmanas. So after this is this verse, next verse, which is being quoted by Rupa Goswami. So here, Te Na Dita Shrutigana. So Te refers to all these in the previous verse. Did not undergo serious studies of the Vedic literature. Na Adita Shrutigana. Where did the gopis study Vedic literature? Where did Jambavan study? Where he went to Gurukul or what? Nor did they worship great saintly persons. Na upasita mahattama. Nor did they execute severe vows or austerities. Avrata, atapta tapasa. Simply by association with my devotees and me, mat sangan, they achieved me. Ma upagata. The persons who achieved the Lord and who are mentioned here are Bali and others. So specifically, Rupa Goswami saying Bali and others. Bali, Prahlad, the gopis, mentioned in the previous verse of the Bhagavatam. So we saw that verse. They did not study the Vedas. Na adita Shrutigana in order to attain me. They did not worship the great masters, Mahattama, in order to learn the Vedas. Matsangat, which can mean from association with my devotees or association with me. And in this case means attaining prema from association with me, principally among all the types of association that one may attain. They then attained me. So they attained Krishna. That's what he said. Though the Lord is in an independent position, out of humility, he counts himself among the devotees. That is why it is expressed in this way. Thus, the verse may be quoted to show that one can achieve prema from the mercy of the Lord. Okay. Prema apari, from the great mercy of the Lord. Mahatyamam jnana yuktascha kevalaschet sadvida. So from the mercy of the Lord, there can be two types in that. Prema arising from the Lord's mercy has two types. Sadvida, that endowed with the knowledge of Lord's powers, Mahatma Gyan Yukta, and that endowed with the knowledge of the Lord's sweetness, Kevala. So here, if you remember, Vaidhi Bhav, Lord's mercy, Mahatma Gyan Prema, Vaikunta. Raganuya, Raganuga, Raganugiya Bhav, Lord's mercy, Keval Prem, Gola Vrindavan. So that's how it is. Here it is explained that this prema has two types, just as prema arising from bhava has two types. Kevala only indicates knowledge only of the sweetness of the Lord with no mixture of at all. Realizing only sweetness takes place exclusively in the form of Raja Krishna, not even in Mathura, Dwarka Krishna, where sweetness is mixed with awareness of Krishna as God. Realization of Vaikunta Vishnu produces a predominance of Mahatma Gyan, Yukta, Prem. Okay, so, okay, where are we now? I think we will stop here for today. We have time up. And now what we have seen is, we have seen this now. Two ways of achieving Prema from Bhava, Vaidhi Sadhana, the Bhagavatam quotation, Raganuga Sadhana, Chandrakanti, by Lord's mercy, it is, giving his association or his devotee association, quoted verse. And these are two types, Mahatma Gyan Yukta and Kevala. Now he will give some evidence for this and this also. So that we will see in the next class, which will be the last class of mine. Okay. Slides number 58. And we are now on 37, 47, 57. Yeah, we'll be able to finish easily. Fine. Okay. So any questions, any clarifications anyone has? Any questions or clarifications? Then we can stop here. Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Okay, Vaishali Mataji has a question. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, this I had one doubt. When you practice Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, but you worship Krishna, but you are not entering into the Raganuga Bhakti. Is it possible?
Now come again. What is your question?
One is practicing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and worshipping Krishna, but he is not. Is it necessary that one who practices Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and who worship Krishna will enter into Raganuga Bhakti?
We all discussed this when we discussed Raganuga Bhakti, if you remember, that if he is not able to give up the rules and regulations, not give up means in the sense that he doesn't start not following the rules. If his practice of sadhana is impelled by the rules and regulations, and he has not developed intense greed for Vraja Krishna, if he does not develop intense greed for Vraja Krishna, and impelled by that greed, he doesn't practice Raganuga sadhana, then even if he's worshipping Vraja Krishna, you have to come to the point of Raganuga sadhana practice in order to attain Vraja Krishna and Golo. Another point, if you remember in our discussion, that your object of worship is Braja Krishna only, but you are not able to give up that, Aishwarya Gyan of Krishna, Upasana of Rukmini and Krishna. So then, although you are worshipping Vraja Krishna, you will not go to Golok Vrindavan, but to Aishwarya Golok. We discussed that, if you remember.
Yeah, Prabhu.
So such fine subtlety is there in the goal. If you're, if you're Abhideya, that's why the more you understand these Abhideya Shastras, have a clear understanding of these Abhideya Shastras, and based on this understanding, you do your Abhideya, that is the Bhakti Sadhana, then the Prayojan will become clear and you will attain the Prayojan. That's why I was been repeatedly mentioning that Updeshamrit and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu are Abhideya Shastras given by Rupa Goswami. Why Prabhupada included them in the Bhakti Shastri? Because we have to have a clear understanding of this. Otherwise, our practices, you take a ticket from Belgaum to Bombay, you will go there. You cannot go to Delhi. So it's not possible materially also. So based on what kind of sadhana you practice, that is the kind of result you'll attain. Is it clear?
Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.